1-1. So, and it's also Liquid's first match, right? So
yeah, they gotta get used to
maybe
it.
they're not ready. Maybe they're gonna do something sloppy. I mean, if Navi goes 2-1 in the group stage, that's real good.
Yeah, I feel like Liquid are pretty good for Midas mode, though. They have some of those kind of niche heroes like Lone Druid, Broodmother, heroes that you really want to ban against them. But the problem, so on the one hand, at least they're cheap to ban, but you can only ban so many heroes, and you really want to get to that 5th pick and have some Broodmother come out from a Tumble Man. You're just like, well, what can you do? So
Sure.
I feel like they've got enough of that versatility that they're going to be very strong in Midas mode.
Speaking of specific heroes like Broodmother, it should be almost time for you guys to start voting on what draft you think will happen in chat with Moonbucks. In case you guys don't know, inside the draft right now, you can vote to pick a hero that will be selected in the draft coming up for the next 10 minutes. If you're right, you can win double the Moonbucks that you bet. The person with the most Moonbucks at the end of the day, top 5, we choose 2 winners.
I think it's more than double. I found out this morning.
Really?
I think it's if you pick a hero that nobody else picks, you basically get the lump sum. You get a bigger percentage of how many Moonbucks are bet. That's why somebody won by so much day one because they picked like anti-mage or something. That's what Shane was telling me.
Complicated. All right.
I don't even know if that's right. That's second-hand knowledge.
That's absolutely
It's like
how it
third-hand
works.
knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like that because it's got a lot of wiggle room. If there's any problems, we can be like, sorry, dude. Somebody else must have selected
Elder Titan.
Elder Titan. That's why it only paid $1. But anyway, you guys can bet today, right now, probably in the chat. And perhaps we should talk about the big thing that everyone's waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, show me Techie's win rate. Do we potentially have the bounties coming up, Reginald? Not yet. But hey, here's Techie's win rate.
That's not even right. This change over time cost, and it hasn't moved. There was the one time we forced the team to pick him, and then he's just been trickling back down to shit tier ever since then.
It was valuable information. But hey, while we wait to reveal today's exciting bounties, how about we talk to a man that knows a lot about the heroes? How about we throw it on over to our economic X later today? We'll be doing that.
Nothing is ready.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before we talk to Nahaz, let's check out the bounties.
We are missing 2.
We're adding the bounties right now. We'll get those up live. Don't worry about it. But let's go through the bounties for today, gentlemen. What do we have?
All right. Well, the very first one you can see there is Lul.
Lul.
That's supposed to be a lowercase u. Someone clearly did not get the memo to Buka, but
Yes.
that's okay.
Oh, that's okay.
Your team must end the game with 0 denies. As you can see, denying teammates is still encouraged. So this just means creeps. And we put plus 500 Moonbucks. Looks like that's been adjusted.
We thought
We
nobody
won
would do this.
1,000.
We thought nobody would do this, to be honest, because this is like probably the craziest challenge we put in because it kind of just loses you the laning stage, almost for sure. Guarantees your opponents get a lot more farm than they should. But it's been reduced. Apparently, Nahas took a look at it and said, "You guys are idiots," and dumped it down, halved it.
Yeah.
I don't think
Harsh.
it's that hard. I win most of my pub games, and I think I've denied 3 times in my entire Dota
This is
career.
what discussing challenges with. You're technically 5K, but 5K, 4K. Let's be real.
What, bitch?
Mechanically, you're like a 4K player, but
You
you
know,
deserve your 5K.
emotionally, as a friend, you're a 2K, all right?
Yeah, you're accurate, but
I worked really hard on that. Fuck you. Anyway, LOL has nothing to do with any other LOLs. You cannot deny. Let's go on to the next one. For Protect 5, give the Aegis to the lowest net worth hero on your team. This hero must survive until that Aegis is reclaimed. Winning does not double the payout. Now, you will see this here today. We do have a stipulation now with the bounties. What we've been seeing is sometimes the winning team will stop winning the game just to complete these bounties,
Yep.
and honestly, it's not that fun to watch. It's not fun to watch Medusa wait to end the game so she can get 3 swords and make extra Moonbucks. So
Right.
we now have a stipulation on some of these bounties. It's not going to double if you're winning because that bounty in particular, extremely easy if you guys are 10K, 16K ahead. So still, though, a hell of a fun bounty. I really hope we get to see that today.
Yeah, it's good. It was a nice way for us to actually adjust the values. It was getting very difficult to find values saying like, oh, if a losing team did this, it would be really hard and should be worth a lot. But if a winning team does this, it's super easy and they shouldn't get anything. So that's kind of our compromise, is to remove the doubling aspect on a lot of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
ladies
look
and
at that
gentlemen, we
fast
have more,
refresh.
but let's keep going in order. Purge, why don't you take the next one?
well, it's teleported now. It's now in the bottom center.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Back in beta, only pick heroes that were available during the first international.
Now, you guys, gave that 400 moonbucks. I don't think that's hard. I mean, there's 40 heroes in the first international. It ain't that bad.
All right, our thought was nobody has touched a drafting challenge yet
Okay, true.
at all. So
We went big.
and it's what 40 heroes.
46.
They're going to be limited on a lot of things, probably supports mainly, but it's doable. And if you win with it, you get 800 moonbucks. That's quite a bit. But like we said, nobody's done a drafting challenge yet.
Yeah, and this technically wouldn't even refund your whole drafting cost as well,
Yeah.
for the most part, assuming you make a decent lineup. So
Sure.
Plus, you can't random. Theoretically, I mean, you could random your first one like, oh, nice, we got one. Let's go for it or something.
Yeah,
But
an act from Mr. Midas. Oh, praise be. We 5-man random, and they're all
now
beta
that would
heroes.
be impressive. That's how you make some moonbucks.
Very hype, very hype. All right, let's check out this one. Natural causes. Lose your Aegis
Can you
to
go
a
in order?
neutral.
Can we just go like the
What?
way you read
I
a book?
I am
the random.
going-
This is like Hollywood
All right.
Squares. It's
Natural. I was
random
going up,
one.
down.
Okay.
But okay. Natural causes. Lose your Aegis to a neutral camp. Winning does not double the payout. So on this one, you grab the Aegis, and there's they can do their own meta. Do they grab the Aegis and instantly walk over a neutral camp and die? Do they try to get into a team fight and then have the guy with the Aegis run away and then die to neutrals right before it expires, get that max value? I'm excited to see. And there's a lot of ways that this one could completely F up. If an enemy kills that person while they're trying to deny to neutrals, does not count, would be hilarious. So looking forward to that.
All right, well, next on the list here, a little bit of a longer one here. This is called Hide and Seek. So you have to announce a hero on your team before the horn sounds. This hero's objective is to hide from the enemy team until the 2-minute mark. Your opponents have one opportunity to state the hero's position in all chat. If they are correct, you fail. So basically, we're looking at someone just hiding off the map before the horn, and then obviously the first 2 minutes of the game. It's a lot of time that you can't really make a big impact.
Yeah, and most likely what will happen if a team does try to accomplish this is they'll probably try to jungle so whatever hero they pick, because that's the easiest way to not affect the game in any positive way other than increase your own net worth and levels. So stacking camps, jungling is probably the goal here. I don't know if we'll see a team do it. They'll probably type it, I guess.
You know, the best way, teams, if you're watching this, the #1 strat to get away with this one, bring back the Cliff jungling level 1 Prophet. I'm telling you, who's going to ward? Who's going to see?
That's actually a good point. 'Cause
It's a good point.
Even if they see, well, they could guess where you are because they see your auto attacks, but
They
they
could.
won't actually see you.
But then you could TP away right at like 155, and they'll be like, on the cliff, I'm in the base, bitch!
That's a good
He's
point.
got the
There's
TP.
another good strat here. If you're on the enemy team, when they're trying to attempt this challenge, at the 2-minute mark, right before, you guess one of the bounty runes and assume that they're going for it. You'd be like, you're at the bottom bounty rune. On your side. Like 159, boom, sniped him.
I wonder if
You're
anyone will
welcome.
even attempt this, though. I mean, as Purge said, I mean, even missing 30 seconds, even missing 15 seconds more is just such a detriment to the early game. So
I hope you guys. I can't even count on Twitch chat to flame them properly because they don't understand how
What?
important
What
the
are you
first
talking
2
about?
minutes.
15 seconds
All right,
is
you are
make or
literally,
break.
with the exception of you AFK jungling, you are playing 4v5 for the first 2 minutes, which is hugely impactful on the laning stage, rotation, ganks, all that stuff. It's a big deal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Purge, I think you should take the next one.
All right, it's called Best Defense, Good Offense. Your team cannot purchase BKB or Lincolns.
Yes. Fantastic. I was hoping you would read the other one, but no problem. You know what? Assuming for our audience members that lack the ability to read, big surprises coming up on what the rest of the bounties are. But we'll get through these really quick. How about that? Let's finish up.
Tower topple, destroy all enemy tier 1 towers before losing any of your own. Winning does not double the payout.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, pew pew lasers. Kill an enemy hero while using at least 2 Dagons from your team. So basically, we want to synchronize zap to blow someone up.
That will be fun.
Classy. See some teamwork.
You know, would have been great if it was 3, but not a big
It
deal.
says 2 or more.
All right, no problem. And my favorite of the day, the one that I hope every team will do, and it is priced appropriately. Thanks, Purge. The first person to die on your team must wait 30 seconds in the fountain after respawning. During that time, they must continuously explain in all chat why they died, whose fault it was, and how they could have avoided that death. The Thanks Purge special. Purge, what do you feel about that?
I think it's pretty costly. It depends who gets first blood on your team, right? If it's your mid player, I think there's very low chances they'll bother with this because 30 seconds, like first blood's probably in the laning stage. If it's later, it's probably more costly, but it's very important that you do things with your early time. I know a lot of players don't get this because they're inefficient and they don't realize how inefficient they're being, but if you waste 40 seconds, a minute, that could be missing a pull, that's a connect through, that could give the offlaners an extra level and give you one less level. It has a big impact, it really does. So I think it'll be, if it's like a support, I could see a support standing in Fountain for like 30 seconds doing this.
Sure.
Or maybe they'll take it as an opportunity to flame while getting moonbucks.
That's super
like
interesting. I didn't think about who dies is super important. If the mid dies or a carry, they're definitely not going to do the challenge.
Yeah, that's a lot of last hits and levels.
When you said it was costly, I was more thinking like having to explain to everybody why they shouldn't have died in the game. It's just like mentally taxing. I played with a guy who every time I died would go on this big-ass tirade for 30 seconds about all the things I did wrong, all the inefficiencies, and really mentally it just rips you apart.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So
I'm
anyway.
expecting them to see heavy flame towards their allies. Like,
me
the
too.
only reason I died is because Zai said he was rotating over, but then he didn't. He went for a bounty rune instead.
As
so.
I said, they suck ass, just go in anyways. And then they killed me.
Yeah.
That would
It's Zai's
be
fault.
absolutely the highlight of the bounty. But we will see more of these bounties. Before we get in the action with today, though, we do have time to talk to one man who will tell us what he thinks of the new economy for today and how things are looking. Ladies and gentlemen, bring us to the Haas house. It's Big Hizow. How we doing, boss?
Good morning, fellas. Looking forward to today. No big changes to the pricing system for today. I was pretty happy with how things went yesterday. You guys just heard about the bounties from our panel. What are we expecting today, gentlemen?
I'm expecting you to apologize for reducing our bounty, the
Agreed.
big-ass one. 1,000 moonbucks, Nahaz. You put it to 500? Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Come on, man. I'm trying to maintain some semblance of balance here. In all seriousness, initially I was really worried about the fact that we were doing this tournament right after a patch dropped, that people were debating the influence. But, as I'm watching these games, I'm realizing we actually kind of know jack all about 707 period, right? We're still learning about the big patch, much less B and C and whatnot. I mean, watching these games, I think teams are just starting to understand, for example, the extent to which Spirit Vessel can counter certain heroes, like the Winter Wyvern. The Alchemist is, in some ways, I don't want to say unpickable, but very risky right now. Saw it used against the Death Prophet in some of the Perfect World games. So I think that the meta is in flux right now, and we're learning a lot. Not just about these individual hero evaluations as they adjust after picks and bans, but it's a kind of a moving target in a sense, if that makes sense. Shadow Demon, our most picked hero on the board so far with 5 appearances. Rubik with 4. Everybody else at 3 or below. So we've seen a lot of variety. And yeah, I do think the bounties for today are going to be pretty interesting. I wanted to make some of them a little bit more complicated, but I think you guys made the right call, keeping them simple, keeping them fun.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yes.
I agree with the item thing. In fact, that was the whole idea behind the BKB Lincolns. We basically just want Eon discs. I don't know. Maybe we'll see that as a possible defensive item. That was kind of the only.
I just hate
somewhat
BKBs. I don't know.
defensive we left in, so.
It's more fun to buy items that do more damage. You know?
Yeah,
Except
just go in.
it's harder to win.
See, I
guess,
wanted to make it no BKB, no Lincolns, no plate mail, chain mail, cloak, or anything that they build into. So your item choices would be way restricted. But yeah, I
no
think it's,
defensive items. Like,
no, I wanted to go. I wanted to up the bounty a little bit and go no defensive items. Well, hey, submit that one for tomorrow, guys.
also, they
Okay,
can't buy
all right.
agility items now, Nahas? Is that how this works?
It's Midas mode, baby. Come on, you gotta embrace
Who's gonna do that challenge?
do that, Nahaz.
Oh, can't buy a Wraith Band, can't buy a Bracer. No null talismans, guys. Careful, there's some agility in there.
You did.
Come
by
on.
the way, you did make.
I would
a
have
good
fought you
point.
yesterday.
Oh, come on, Purge. Let's go, baby.
Oh, shit. He'll kill you, Pern.
You made a good point, though. Somebody mentioned the cost of the drafting challenges. I alluded to this a little bit yesterday, but
Yep.
we really did feel like we needed to increase some of the values of the drafting challenges just because doing a lot of those means that you forego the chance to random in a lot of spots, and randoming is really good. I know a lot of people have mentioned this on Reddit. I don't want to decrease the bounties for randoms because I think that's part of a lot of the fun. Teams strategically randoming in different places, and the other team has to decide, do I maybe spend a lot on a hero that's a counter? does that random create the opportunity for a hard counter with a cheap hero? So I like that aspect of the mode, even though, yeah, it does feel like it generates a lot of additional funds. But again, guys, the random RNG has been freaking
It
God
has.
tier.
Still.
You have to appreciate
Yeah.
that.
What other tournaments do you get pro teams randoming? You don't. It's just it's not a thing. So it's exciting that we found a way to get it done.
Indeed.
I would not want to stop that in any way.
Hazi, what do you think we're going to see today, buddy? Give me the preview. Anything in particular that you're looking
I
forward
just
to?
think I said this first day going into second day. I'm going to say it again second day going into third day. I think a lot of teams at the beginning of the tournament looked at the fact that they only had 7,500 Moonbucks. They had to play at least 3 best-of-3 series and said there's no way that we're picking these 500 price heroes. I think after a couple days of play, teams are realizing that we've got these bounties out there every day, that they're very much doable. They're a part of the mode, and I think teams are going to be much more willing to spend those big Moonbuck values on some of these heroes, especially if they realize that those heroes are going to allow them to complete the bounties and win the game.
Indeed, indeed. Yes, once again, the world learning from NA, as we saw yesterday. Oh, God, wait.
It's a thing.
This the EU audience. NA, lol, terrible. Very well, Nahas, thank you. Hold on. Reginald! Say goodbye to Nahas for us. Bye, Nahas. Goodbye, Nahas. Thank you. Wow, Reginald really did nail that goodbye.
That was very
I'm
nice.
happy I summoned him.
It was heartfelt.
That was
tell.
fantastic. Well, we're moving into the match coming up here, so maybe it's about time for us to focus up a little bit and talk about our new team that has yet to premiere, that is doing a doubleheader today. How do you think Team Liquid is going to fare in Midas mode?
I think they'll do pretty good. They've always had they have very high skilled players, 4 and 9K MMR players. They can play lots of different heroes. They're obviously very creative. They try hard all the time, and everything they do is what it seems like. I think that they're going to have a really good shot here. I'm curious to see more, not necessarily what heroes they play, because the Dota aspect, I have no lack of faith that they'll play well. But how are they going to play Midas mode is my curiosity. I'm not really
Expensive
sure.
supports probably, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, that's kind of the classic Liquid, get GH something nice, everyone else just not worry about it. I think we've seen supports be the most heavily spent role, I would think. Lots of like the Wyvern.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the Wyvern wasn't random, but we've had a lot of expensive supports.
Yeah, it's like
got
first
Shadow
pick,
Demons now getting
first
there.
pick Rubik's, first
And
pick, things like that.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Because, you want to get that like done at the start, get the expensive stuff. You don't want your cores to be countered, so it ends up just kind of being weighted till like the end of the draft, and oftentimes maybe some of those better cores might be banned out or something.
You know what
so
else
it's a
it
bit
probably
cheaper.
is that they want to know for sure that they have a stun. And if you pick
Also
a hero
good.
like Rubik, you guarantee have telekinesis, and probably one of the heroes that your opponent's random will have a stun. So it essentially guarantees that no matter how crazy your randoms become, that you will at least have one.
Now, I have a theory here, gentlemen. You both seem to think Liquid's going to do great in this tournament. The
Okay.
tournament's kind of made for them. Crazy theory here, but I've been watching a lot of Dream League, and it seems like everybody in Dota is very freaked out by Liquid right now. All their drafts are basically just banning out all of GH's heroes. They care much more about what Liquid's doing than what they're doing. And the only teams that ever won against Liquid since they won in TI are teams that have only played what they're comfortable with. They're not trying to counterplay Liquid. They're trying to just be good at themselves.
Okay.
The fact that this tournament is so complicated, I don't think these guys have very much time to really think about playing
Liquid's doing.
against Liquid. I think they have to focus on themselves, which is the key to beating Liquid. So I actually
Wow.
think, don't think I'm nuts here, this might be everyone's best chance to beat this untouchable team.
So you're saying they can avoid thinking about Liquid and focus on their draft by randoming 3 of their own heroes. Is that what you're saying?
In a way, let's just say it's a less nervous situation
I
against
would
what
agree.
many would say is the best team in the world. So in this situation, perhaps we might finally see some people give hard victories against Liquid in Midas mode.
It's possible.
And they could just be idiots in the economy aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, they won TI. Homies there's Ogre Magi.
They don't need Moonbucks.
Speaking of
Sorry,
idiots,
Maybe they
there you go.
maybe they
Thank
can't
you,
read.
Reginald. Fantastic transition there.
Maybe they can't read the drafts. You never know.
Yeah,
Or the
Look at
the
his
challenges.
rise to some serious moolah. Did you see he goes up to 310 now?
310.
Ridiculous.
Woo! That's a big support. Was he even played that much?
Yeah, he was. There was a couple of teams that picked him.
Wow.
Who was the one team they picked him first and they ran him like 4 heroes or something?
What
That
if
was That was Optic, I think.
Yes, please. Could we please see where our top sort by price is? Who's our 500 heroes of the day?
How about Tiny, Reginald?
Well, Night Stalker
see his
is
movement?
still there.
It's right at the top left.
There he is. 200. Yeah, he's
He's
still
leveled
affordable.
off.
He's gone up and
Yeah,
down.
he rose very quickly, and then
Yeah.
he made it all the way to 338, and then it's just been boop.
Well, that was Navi that picked him twice.
Yeah.
They're playing again today. Maybe we'll see him get picked up. But I think the other teams are maybe realizing maybe the buffs or the changes to him were a little bit too weird. So he was definitely overpowered in the previous patch right before the tournament started. I'm not sure if he's at the same level.
I just love watching him now. He's like the most meme-ass hero now
Yeah.
out of everybody. He 3 times throws people up. He fucking throws his big dick and tree at people.
The tree kills there.
I need to like.
Excellent.
I gotta learn how to play that hero. I love that. Oh, hey, look who it is.
You could
It's
play him.
Omni Knight.
I think
Price.
you could play Tiny. I think Tiny could fit your playstyle.
Thank you so much, Burge. That's the nicest thing you've said in the last several months to me. I could play something. That's great. Pick price for Omni Knight very high. You could see that he started to get affordable, and then as soon as he got affordable, whoo, time to get picked up.
Well,
a
as
few
Immortals drafted him, I believe. Was there any other teams?
Whew, that was rough. I feel like we should decrease the price after that.
Oh, was it
game,
random?
honestly.
Did Immortals random him or pick him?
I
Maybe
believe-
there was a random end.
No,
of it.
believe it
no,
was a
that was a
random.
pick.
Was it a pick?
Yeah, it was a pick.
Very well. Thank
I'm
you.
quite sure.
Fight
Oh, I
about
think
it.
Universe played him once too. Or yeah, I think it was Universe.
Yeah, it was Universe. Because then they had the support. What was it? Crit Puck. That's what it was.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dark Willow, it's
Oh
definitely.
my God. Is that Zoe from Join Dota? Is she back?
What? How does that look anything like so?
Looks like it a little bit.
You know, she has a video game character that looks like her now, right? So we don't really need to.
Well, this
Fair
is the
to Dark
Dota
Willow.
version.
Is it?
I mean, it's got that sharp jawline.
Thanks, Slacks.
I mean, she ain't ever gonna watch this. She's fucking Blizzard brainwashed now. Who cares?
Well, that's definitely being sent to her on Twitter.
No, I didn't mean it.
How to make sure she sees
I didn't
it.
mean it. Please. She scares the shit out of me. Please don't share that with her.
Anyways, Dark Willow got expensive because she was way too inexpensive at the start of the tournament. It was like one of the cheapest heroes, and she got picked straight for like 6 games. I think mid 200s is probably fine for the character. I think if anything, she would be picked more if teams weren't randoming. Because there's been a little bit of inconsistency. Some teams will go 3-4 randoms, other teams will random 1. But it seems like she doesn't quite fit into lineups. Like, it's just been...
I think I would say she's a good
In and
example of why even when you lose, the price should still go up, right? Because this
Yeah.
hero is extremely strong.
Yeah.
So I think there were some questions about like, oh, well, why if the hero's losing, why is it becoming more and more expensive? But she's still
Yeah.
very top tier. We all know she's very powerful. So
It's way too hard to balance it around
Yeah.
individual hero performance because you could have an amazing game, somebody else drops the ball. It takes like a really high MMR player to even know who to blame, and oftentimes they won't agree there. So it's like impossible to actually adjust it based on win-loss like Slacks wanted. So
I
the only thing maybe it shouldn't
did
affect is
advocate that system.
if you random the character, should the cost go up? Maybe not, but that's how it currently functions, and it's random anyways, so it's probably not, in the scheme of things, not a big deal.
Yeah. I had a question for you, gentlemen.
'Kay.
We've had some people asking. We have a cap at 500 Moonbucks for our most expensive.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that is something that we should do? Is have a cap? Should the price just continue to increase? If a hero just keeps doing well and people are buying them at 500 and something that we haven't seen, should we have an overcap?
I guess that would be a decent way to balance teams having too much money, actually, because we were trying to think about if we do get towards the end of the tournament, what if the teams have still like 6K, 7K Moonbucks going into their second or last BO3, BO5? How do we solve that? And I think maybe raising the caps another 200, 300 points could be a solution.
I'm in.
It's better than just like slashing everybody's money or decreasing everybody's money by 30% or 50%.
Plus, then we encourage different heroes.
Yeah, it would-
variety.
it
we
would
get some of
continue.
those mid-tier
Right.
pack guys in there.
I mean, I'm sorry to say this. I'm starting to miss Night Stalker. I'm starting to miss Beastmaster.
Why doesn't he
These
get
guys used
randomed?
to be in every single game, and now they're gone. Their time is over. It makes me a little sad.
Oh, Night
we
Stalker
got
also
the,
got nerfed, though.
The last bounty added in here, guys, so you
Hey!
can see. It's the middle bottom one. It says Worth. Use all castable ultimates on one enemy hero.
Yes.
Heroes with passive ultimates do not stop you from completing this challenge. If you can't activate your ultimate, activate it. Mr. Midas will have final say. Winning does not double the payout.
So let's clarify some examples. If you're in a bad-in, it doesn't actually help you kill the person. Pop your ultimate. I don't care. If you're a hero like Clinks and there's no creeps nearby to use your Death Pact on, that's cool. You don't have to use Death Pact. If you have, I don't know, what's
Drow
another good...
Ranger, passive stuff.
Yeah.
Hit it.
It's
you don't
okay.
have a castable ultimate, so it's cool. You're good.
Yeah.
You're
You don't have
fine.
to be
However-
there. Doesn't matter.
I will say that if PA is selected, if she don't crit,
Oh, agreed.
that's a no-no. She has to use her ult. So it's got to be a crit. Now,
Mr.
Well, we'll have
Midas
to ask
is-
Mr. Midas.
Well,
We'll have to ask Mr.
Midas,
Midas. But the biggest thing about this one, I think the most interesting one, is everyone has to use their ult on one target, which means that you have to have kind of a beefy target. If 3 people use their ults
Does
and
it
that
say
person
they have to die?
I mean,
Can we go back to the challenge page?
It doesn't say
No, they don't have to die. He's saying, but what if they die after 2 ultimates?
What if they die after 2 out of 5 ults? What if you get a BK, an Enigma
It
black hole?
doesn't say they have to die.
Yeah, I know, but he's saying, what if they die after 2 ultimates?
Oh, okay.
I'm
right?
saying that what if you already committed 4 ults and then you got the Laguna Blade coming in, but the guy's already dead? Then you have to try again. It's hilarious.
Really? All right. Yeah.
What do you mean, really? You
one's-
gotta use all ults on one guy. What are you
What
talking
if
What are you
it's
gonna
like
do, Laguna Blade
what
a
if it's like
centaur
the guy?
nearby?
What if it's like the guy dies and Abaddon pops his ult a little late? Does that matter? He still wasted it.
I mean, the Abaddon thing
Isn't
is
it funnier
literally-
that way? Like if they all jump in and there's like one Laguna Blade that one shots his support and the tide blinks in and ravages and there's like an Enigma black
Well,
hole.
that's why
and
we
like-
have Mr.
Well, that's why you have
Midas.
to use it on one guy. You can't use it on the area in which they once existed.
What about invokers? You just have to invoke one spell.
Yes.
You have to cast 6 spells as invoker.
Don't pick
My
it up,
refresher
guy.
shard.
Yeah.
I don't
Is there any hero that could really mess up that challenge?
Silencer.
Silencer? Have you seen 3 ults use silence? Isn't that just helping them?
Any player on the enemy team. There's a lot of challenges today actually where the team that's not completing the challenge can GG early to prevent it.
What if Wyvern
Which
just
is
like
interesting.
winners curses them, and then the team ends up getting there in time and like defending their winner cursed ally?
That would be pretty funny. Yeah,
That'd be amazing.
But the GG thing I really want to explore because like there's all of the like the tower destruction ones or the can you Dagon with 2 different heroes. Yes, they could sell their items and buy a Dagon, but if the team knows they're losing and the enemy team's trying to do this Dagon trick, they can just GG earlier to end it to prevent them from getting Moonbucks. Will they even care? Because really in the grand scheme of things, it's like 300,
Winning's pretty
500.
good.
Winning is better, but if
Yeah.
they know they're probably going to lose, is it better to like end the game earlier so their opponents can't complete that challenge? Will they even know that challenge exists? We haven't even seen consistency in that way, that teams are definitely nailing all the challenges.
Yeah, we've got some.
What do you got? Got a
Nothing,
secret?
nothing.
What's their secret?
There's no secret. I'm currently checking.
Looking at your hand?
Yes, and it says yes that we are waiting on a team.
Oh.
Perhaps someone should be contacting that team and making sure that they're awake. So continue to talk about Midas mode for a little bit as I.
It's definitely not a project manager contacting them, I can tell you that.
It's almost like the schedule was difficult to read.
Excuse me. Talk
we-
about Midas
Did
mode.
we know what time this game was going to start?
I didn't even know
Yesterday
who
when the
was
broadcast
playing.
ended? No.
Okay, we're fine.
We're fine.
We're fine.
fine.
Gentlemen.
Fine.
I have Hey!
Oh,
What was that?
Moonbucks.
yeah, Moonbucks.
All right, so let's talk about some other stuff here as we're waiting for one of our teams to join the lobby. I believe they're in the lobby, but they do not know that a website exists for the drafting. I believe they think
Which
they're
new
picking
team could
all
it be?
So, yes.
Is it Navi, the team that's already drafted and played 2 matches? Or is it the other team, the smart 9K TI winner team?
We don't need to call out anybody. Now, to my earlier point,
Yep.
I simply think Liquid does not value money anymore. They just won TI.
That's a really good
They're
point.
goddamn millionaires.
They're
They don't know
filthy
how to
rich.
do it.
They're filthy rich.
They're just going to be like, 500, I'm fucking millionaire. Buy all the
Yeah.
best heroes. They don't know anymore. They've lost that.
Probably don't.
That's what you guys think, hey? That's going to happen? This is just
Yeah, once you-
fully one-to-one
Once
here?
you get like $2 million a person, do they even like?
Who cares?
Who even buys their
They
stuff
probably don't
anymore?
even wash socks. They
Right.
probably just buy a new pack.
That's
Damn!
They probably
That's
like
the dream.
They buy a new car, they drive it to the destination, and they just abandon it there. Roll down the windows, get out, and then they just buy a new one.
What
I
is
don't
your
know.
definition of super rich? I've always thought, I finally know that I'm, what? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, bumper time. It looks like we're getting into the game. Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Midas, and I'm here to talk to you about MassDrop.com. What is MassDrop? Well, it's a community of enthusiasts that have gotten together to find the greatest products and find the correct specifications to make those products great. Not only that, they sell you the product on the website there as well for a reduced price. Products such as what? Well, this is my favorite one, the AKG K7XX Red Edition. It's a wonderful set of headphones made to the complete specifications of enthusiasts and people that love headphones. As for me, I'm an idiot. I don't know what makes a good headphone, so I just listen to those nerds and buy it cheap. That's how I became a billionaire. Bassdrop.com. Stop by, see some stuff, and buy some headphones. Just like me. Ladies and gentlemen, Navi versus Team Liquid. Game 1. Here we go.
Ooh, Navi 11 whole moon bucks for the election bid.
That's right. Liquid are
big.
coming in poor as they lost 500 moonbucks.
Oh, I did
attempting
forget
a bet
about
on
that.
Navi.
A failed bet by
Harsh.
clearly, I'm just going to say, clearly a 3-2-2 from Team EG.
Coach Heen. I mean,
Interesting.
come on, guys. You know,
Coach-
not believing in Optic.
Coach Heen.
That was definitely a big upset, though.
That was not an
Quite.
upset. They literally threw because
Radiant
2
team.
euros
Okay,
bet $1,000.
wait, hold up. There's also, I saw Arteezy's tweets after the broadcast. He was having hotkey troubles with his Morphling, which I definitely believe. I found myself 2 or 3 Morphling bugs right when the patch came out.
Yeah.
You could morph into techies and place remote mines, which is an ultimate. You're not supposed to be able to do that. There were a lot of Morphling bugs, and apparently he had bugs on his main account, not his Smurf. So when he jumps to his main account to play Midas mode, he would transform into things, and then his hotkeys weren't working, so he didn't get to do it correctly. So if you transform into like Shadow Demon and want to disrupt somebody, but the hotkeys are wrong, and then you hesitate for a second, then you die. And that happened at least 2 of the games, actually, that I saw, 2 of the times that he was playing Morphling. So it was not just EG throwing. There was honestly some crucial moments that were
He's
messed up
honestly
to hotkeys.
already annoying enough to play, too, because they moved the morph hotkeys, and now, like,
Yeah.
in terms of, like, changing your
a little
attributes
bit
and
harder.
everything, so.
All right, Liquid starting off with the no ban. It's because they've
Reserve time.
got so much money it doesn't matter or something.
Woo!
Or
There
they're
we
just
go.
going to win no matter what. Pangolier
Navi.
banned. Lone Druid banned. That one's a little bit weird, but I guess it is kind of a Liquid hero.
That is
Yeah.
actually one of the Liquid heroes.
That's the thing,
One of
it's
their
like-
scariest heroes.
It's so good, but it's also so cheap that it feels 43 moonbucks. I'll throw that out just
Reginald, can we sort by pick price, please?
You know, that's another great point to bring up here for Team Liquid as well. They have this really broad pool that people have trouble banning against, and in this mode, you know, you're right. Banning against Lone Druid, who picks Lone Druid except for Liquid? It's
Yeah.
like a value ban only against that team.
And the
so-
ban cost is super low. It's like a 122 cost, but the ban price is 43. That's almost nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
That can cover pretty much anything.
Radiant
As long as you stay out of that like first tier of heroes, the ban
Whoa.
price are not bad. Yeah, this is Crystal Maiden is a hero that I actually really expect to be picked when I did some testing against Brax. That was the first hero we picked. Very
Yeah.
inexpensive, gives mana aura, has decent disables, and very low cost, 95 movement or 95 moon
Yeah,
bucks.
you could already tell that Liquid is gonna be having a nice time with these games.
Dire
Earthshaker
team
is one of their most picked heroes. No one else has touched him. He's extremely cheap after days of being
Radiant
played
team banned.
on Midas mode,
Dire
and
team
they're
banned.
great at these kind of unknown.
Radiant team
Whoa,
picked.
Jesus! Look at
Yeah.
these bans. Are they going for the no ban challenge here?
I think it's clear at this point. I mean, if you don't ban the first phase, then I think you're going all the way. Navi does go for some pretty expensive picks with the Clock and the Dark Willow, but I think this is the way to play. They've got a lot of Moonbucks left over. They started the draft with about 6,000. This is their last group stage match. If they win this match,
10
that's 2-1 in the group stage. That means if no team in their group goes 3-0, they get potentially first seed. That's a really high chance for Navi. So they're in a really good position today, I think. They
Yep.
just have to win this series.
Reserve time.
Navi doing what they can here. They get themselves a Clockwork, moderately expensive hero here. Pretty good against Crystal Maiden and Earthshaker, though. Nice
Yep.
pick.
Maybe a mind control hero coming out here for Liquid. His Beastmaster, of course, 500 moonbucks.
Woo!
But the Brewmaster, another almost the same tier hero, 341.
Oh, he's dropping a little bit.
Might be
Okay.
feasible, but they're also up against Clockwork, who's considered a pretty decent counter to Brewmaster. Try and find him in the back lines, or before the fight starts, obviously.
Dare
know
I
the ulti.
say, Liquid looking pretty good for the Lola challenge.
The
I
which
think it was
challenge?
under 125, and that was yesterday.
Which challenge?
The LUL.
Oh.
Oh, lull. Sorry,
No.
my
lull.
friend. I thought you said
No.
the low.
I don't
Yeah.
think
Apologies.
I don't think any team is going to attempt that challenge unless they are pretty much intentionally throwing the draft for the point of moonbucks. Like I think they'll if a team goes for that challenge, I genuinely think it'll be 5 randoms with a little challenge. 'Cause
I
it's too difficult to
disagree.
win without denies. Like the mid lane is screwed. You couldn't even like okay, you could actually auto attack your own creeps, but you can't deny them. So I guess you could control the safe lane a little bit. But you can't actually get the deny. Like, it's complicated.
You
Unintentionally
play it
deny.
just like a pub game.
You have to
don't
pseudo
have to
deny
deny if there's no one alive in your lane to get XP.
That's a great point.
You just go in and you kill people.
What
That's-
happens when the lane pushes because you used an AoE spell and then they're about to get experience because they
You
respawn?
don't use the AoE spell on the creeps. You're just constantly killing the lane people.
And when you
Liquid
right-click
has
them and
this
the
early
creeps
game-
auto-attack you, and
Excuse me. Liquid has this early game super run at you draft right now.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a no deny coming out of them. I think out of every team in this tournament, they're the ones that could pull it off.
I think probably a mind control Pugna in the off lane, more than likely. Doesn't have to be, but that's where we've seen the hero the most lately.
It's pretty good. So if you decrep yourself and Dark Willow hits you with her Shadow Dance or whatever the heck it's called,
Shadow Realm.
Shadow Realm,
It is.
do you still get hit?
I believe it is magical damage.
Yes,
magical
but
damage,
it's based on
but
an
it's-
attack. So
right.
does decrep block the attack and therefore block the damage, or
Wouldn't
do you block the physical damage and amplify the magic? I don't know.
Oh,
We'll
that's
find.
fine.
I am
Soon.
sure we'll find out.
Hello there. Oh my God,
That's-
the bubble strat. This is beautiful.
I love that pick.
Look how value their draft is right now. This
Yeah.
looks like a captain's mode draft, and everything's under 180.
Yeah, they're
And
actually just.
compare that to Na'Vi.
It's a different strategy than we've been seeing. Basically, this is kind of like day one a little bit. Maybe like the first drafts that we saw was just picking inexpensive things that they think make good combos that are underpriced. Not gambling with randoms. They're just doing a conservative, inexpensive draft.
Looks like Liquid are venture capitalists. You know, they're super rich and then they're staying cheap. They're still pinching pennies. Look at that.
It's like they're trying to get more and more money.
Wow.
Maybe money does matter.
When does it stop? When
are you just gonna
when
live
will
your
you get
lives?
enough, Team Liquid? Spend a little bit, live a little bit,
Think
boys.
about the economy, dude. Let it trickle down.
Trickle down economics,
If
Team
it just
Liquid.
sits in your bank account, no jobs are created. You gotta invest that stuff.
You're
Don't be
killing
greedy.
us all. You're killing the children. Spend your moon bucks. Anyway,
They've,
back to the draft.
They've made it a bit difficult, I think, for Miracle over on side Liquid, right? Because you've got this Queen of Pain in the mid lane, already difficult. We've seen the power of Dark Willow roaming in mid, super obnoxious.
Yeah.
But you want this like mobile kind of hero who's good up against Clockwork. You know, we tend to see, like, for example, Queen of Pain's commonly used as a counterpick to Clockwork, Storm Spirit as well. Yeah, maybe you get pooped on a little bit in lane before level 6, but once you're 6,
Gracious.
doesn't even matter if you get hooked. But
Navi
wow.
is big spending today. This is like an Immortals draft.
I mean,
They
here.
need to win.
You
Yeah.
got to win this series. If they can win this, I mean, I think they might be first. Potentially.
I mean, it's going straight to getting first seed is an amazing advantage. You go straight to the regional grand finals. If they do continue to spend the same levels in the regional grand finals, they're going to run out of money probably. But
Sure.
you know, getting
But you
guaranteed
made
top
it.
2, yeah, that's guaranteed top 2 in your region.
Hell yeah. You automatically win a prize. Let's not forget, Mr. Midas does not support losers. If you're lowest placed in the group stage, you get literally nothing. Get the hell out of the tournament.
Other
So,
than the pleasure of playing in Mr. Midas'
the
tournament. of
pleasure.
course.
That's what it all
The
is.
honor.
That's worth money. Let's be real.
The
And
pleasure.
we gave them 7,500 free moonbucks. That alone is worth it.
Did I ever tell you guys that when I used to do stupid voices, we did a
Yesterday?
stream.
You're talking about yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I used to be a fool, a gesture,
Yeah.
we had a stream where we tried to do a quap stupid voices, and it got so disturbing
I bet.
that the chat went from almost 3,000 people down to the strongest like 100. It was just
100 people were
it
left
was
only?
bad. All the entire stream, I'm like, "Ugh, the pleasure. They did not like that.
Yeah, I
So-
can't imagine anything else I would not want to ad lib.
What was? Oh yeah, that line. I kept saying it. She says, "Ecstasy." People were highly disturbed.
She actually does say that.
Ecstasy.
All right, they have like Navi is like the 3 most annoying heroes to play against in pubs almost, like
Just missing Nature's
anti-mage
Prophet
storm.
instead of Clockwork, honestly.
At least NP is killable if you kind of know what you're doing, but like Storm and Anti-Mage, very frustrating sometimes. And
Sure.
Quap is kind of, I mean, they picked a lot of their annoyance levels on Navi's draft is way
They gotta
high.
watch that Nether Ward, man. That thing is
Yeah.
a little bit dangerous this game.
That's a good point.
And I guess this is probably offlane queen, right? I guess it could be a roaming 4 queen and offlane clock. We have seen that in the past,
Yeah.
but I would assume this is going to be like some general quap.
You know what's kind of sick about Crystal Maid in this game is that at 15 you have that minus 14% mana usage.
Oh.
And it also does spell burn, so it's going to be a little. They're going to resist the anti-mage mana burn that's coming out this game, and the Clockwork
Wow.
Cogs. It's like a small factor, but
That's pretty cool,
it
though.
could be. You know, I haven't seen it be done yet. I assume it'll be done this game. Maybe not. It's like that or 120 GPM, I think. But you know, something that we might actually see that's cool.
Purge, big question for you here.
Sure.
From the draft so far, do you think anyone's going to be attempting hide and seek? I don't think any of these guys can afford to be out of the lane for the first 2 minutes.
CM could
Maybe
CM,
Sam if she jungles, but it's
jungling,
worse.
that's it.
And if she doesn't, then the laning stage is going to go better for Navi. I don't think. I think this match is too big for Navi. I think
Yeah.
to for them to even attempt. You can see by how much they spent. I don't think they'll try it. Maybe one of the different sets where it's like early in the tournament for any of the teams. But I think we're deep enough where everybody's had their toe in the water a little. So I don't think we're going to see that one much.
Viper. think Viper or DK
That was
maybe
good.
two of the possible options here in terms of like pacing and everything and trying to find a win with this draft.
And that one's so good because if Anti-Mage gets Chronosphere, you throw in the Nether Toxin, he's instantly broken. That means he has actually no bonus spell resistance.
It's huge
Then
for Pugna.
anybody can kill him. Pugna, Void, like...
We got a back in beta, ladies and gentlemen. Team Liquid.
Oh.
Those are all heroes from the beta. Not only do they have what it looks like
Okay.
a great bursty early game draft, but we're back in beta, boys.
All right.
All
so
right.
maybe
Hell yeah,
400
money.
$1 was a little too
I told you guys that challenge was too fucking easy. But it's only one
Wow.
good hero pick. So,
So they came out on top, right? Because they spent $695, and if they win, they'll
They
they're
could
only
get-
going to get like 100 and some. So
What do you-
that's
what
not
do you
that
mean?
ridiculous.
What do you
'Cause
mean,
it's
bonus?
400 doubled. It'd be 800 moonbucks. They spent 695 during this draft,
Okay.
so it cost them 695.
Reginald, can
to
you highlight the
achieve
back and beta challenge for us,
400.
please?
back in beta challenge highlighted, please, Reginald.
Thank you.
Reginald.
He's new. This is his first day on the job. I mean, there's a lot of heroes. Genuinely, a lot of heroes that were in Dota 1. I mean, if compared to our other challenges were like draft challenges, like 20 characters, kind of a thing. So, yeah.
We did it. We got one.
Slipped
completed.
under the radar completely until. Thank you, Reginald, for the heads up.
Thank you,
but-
Reginald. But yeah, so let's talk about these drafts here. I got to be real with you 100%. I think Na'Vi got hyper outdrafted here. I mean, they have to have Dark Willow do super good in the early game. Everybody on their team needs a decent amount of farm and XP. And Dark Willow's biggest weakness is that super bursty magical damage, which they have in droves on Team Liquid. I cannot see how Na'Vi win this game.
I mean, Na'Vi basically have to fight a lot, and I think they have to do pretty well in their lanes. Anti-Mage kind of needs a lot of farm, and Storm kind of does as well, but they could get active early as on the other side. They've got to shut down. I think they need to win the mid lane for sure. I think that's the big one. And once they win the mid lane, I think it could do a lot for Navi's mid game tempo.
Yeah, I'm going to have to kind of favor Team Liquid here, though.
I would too.
I don't think they have enough to slow down that early pressure from like Pugna, especially in that off lane, just quickly taking your safe lane tower, limiting the farm potential of a Storm Spirit and an Anti-Mage, and then it even feels like they're going to get pressure on like tier 2s by the time
Oh, GH
Navi's
is
able to
actually
do
losing
anything.
gold?
He lost gold from
Screw him.
not.
He wasted our time. That's a pause right there.
That's a pause. You know what?
Take
we don't
your choice,
F around.
moonbucks or gold. What do you want to lose?
Well, hopefully he can still afford the items he wants, I guess. I mean, maybe he gets one less clarity. That could actually be pretty costly, but
I mean, he's
we'll
fine.
have Mr.
All right,
Midas
well,
rule on
now
that
I'm
one.
favoring Na'Vi.
Oh, yeah,
Losing
clearly.
5 gold.
5 gold.
How could he possibly make that up?
In what tournament will you see pro players losing gold for not picking fast enough? Anyway, let's head on over to our first match of the day. Team Liquid versus Team Na'Vi with our casters.
Thank you so much, Slacks. I don't think I ever want to hear you do Queen of Pain ever again. That might have been the most disturbing thing I've ever heard.
That was terrifying.
I really appreciate it, though. So, game 1, though, Brax, how you feeling this morning, buddy?
Feeling pretty good. It looks like we have quite the interesting game going on. Team Liquid have completed the what was the challenge
Back
called?
in beta, I believe.
Okay,
is what
back
it was.
in beta
I've got the list right here, my friend.
Nice.
We also the only other one at the beginning of the game is hide and seek, that you announce a hero on your team before the horn. That hero's objective is to hide from the enemy until 2 minutes, and obviously the other team has to state where they are. But I don't think that's happening. Like they said in the draft day, Na'Vi spent so much money on this draft that I don't think they're going to do it. Liquid could with the sim theoretically, but that doesn't look to be the case right now.
It seems quite unlikely, right? You have to give up all your early lane pressure, which is honestly super, super important at the moment.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not like it's 30 seconds, it's 2 minutes. That is a
Exactly.
lot, so we will not see that, one would assume. We'll wait, but there's still a lot more bounties to complete. Like they were talking about, Navi's 1-1. This is Liquid's first game, and we will see how they play it up. They have the back in beta, so,
Yep.
man,
I'm really interested to see how this Dark Willow does, because previously in the tournament we saw this hero as a core.
yes.
So I'm interested to see how this plays out as a support hero.
We saw from Seneko in one of the early games, and he did really well with it. They lost the game,
Okay.
I think it was against OG, but it was still kind of insane. Meanwhile, they're going to try to fight down bottom. Miracle's going to get run at by Roger. They have no battery assault skilled up yet. Matama Man giving him some auto attacks onto General. Kuroki, nothing skilled up, and it will be Liquid taking that rune. Matama Man will grab it, so Roger will have to back himself up onto the other side of the river. But Liquid will get 3 of the 4 bounty runes going their way.
Okay, nicely done. I guess unfortunately Viper didn't get as good of a block because he has to TP back to the mid lane while Seneco is blocking the mid lane for Dendi. And it looks like it's kind of like the pseudo tri-lane. You know, you have the roamer coming in, just camping behind the mid lane, making the lane very difficult. And with the lane positioning this far back, too, it could be super dangerous.
He might be in trouble. Battery assault. No, he's got Cogs level 1. Cog push doesn't actually hit, so Matuma might be fine. He's going to run down towards the south in the river. Now going to juke back up towards his own tier 1 tower. Dendy's still chasing him down. Matuma has the salve. He should be fine. It's a lot of damage to deal with, but they're going to know that there is no clockwork in any of these other lanes.
Yeah, it still takes a ton of damage mid lane on the Viper. You need the Help Storm in this matchup, or else it gets very, very one-sided quite quickly. But all right. I am interested to see how this top lane plays out, because Pugna, pretty good in lane, especially in the off lane. You can always just decrypt these melee heroes before we're at the last hit, but I don't know how strong this this hero Dark Willow is as a support. Like, what's his zoning capability like? Is he strong at fighting? Can he deal well with the dual lane? It's interesting.
His Shadow Realm was already a really long cooldown at level 1, so it takes a while. Like, you have okay base damage. Well,